Hello and welcome to the Fans Boxing Podcast, the podcast that asks the questions you want to hear. I'd like to welcome to this week's show, the one and only Prince Patel. How are you feeling today, Prince? Are you all good, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's like I say, it's been a pleasure, mate. Like I say, over the weeks we've been collecting loads of questions and feedback for you. A lot of people want to know, can you take us back to what all started for you in boxing, mate, and what age and what was the motivation to get into that gym?
Was around about Christmas time, 2004. I think it was our first steps in the gym. I think it was December. It was before December 10th. I think it was about December 8th. Stepped in the gym. I got into boxing due to not being the best at football, not being the best at cricket or whatever. But boxing was a single sport, and I just wanted to give it a shot, and here I am today.
Yeah, because have you always had your back in your family when it comes to the sport?
My mum's backed me in everything I wanted to do, if I'm honest. So yeah, I'd say I did have family backing.
Oh, brilliant to hear. How long you trained before your first fight, Prince?
I think my first amateur one must have been about 2 months.
That's quite quick, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, quite quick, yeah.
Through them early days as an amateur, Prince, leading up like the Golden Gloves and the national titles you won.
To be honest, when I first started off, I wasn't good at all. To be honest, I was just doing it for the sake of like just trying to find a sport, and then as I got into it more, I think I went in the Golden Gloves twice. I got to the London finals in both of them, and the third year I went in them, I won them, that was like the defining year for me. I'd say if I didn't win them that year, I was not probably going to quit, but I was thinking of like not training so much, if that made sense. Not dedicating everything to it. So that year I won them, and I won the Three Nations as well that year. And I was from that year on, I was always one of the top kids in my age, if that made sense. And then I hit like the year later, I was boxing for England. I got to the junior ABA finals that year, and the year after that I was still boxing for England and stuff. And I think I won the CYPs that year, and then I think a couple of years after I won them again for another club that I was at. Yeah, so I've done all right. I had good amateur pedigree. Got to the senior ABA finals as well. Boxed for GB once, and yeah, that was pretty much my amateur career.
Yeah, because a lot of people say through gyms as an amateur, Prince.
I switched different gyms. I switched around a bit. It wasn't due to what everyone thinks it was of me getting thrown out of gyms. It wasn't that at all. It was more I did get thrown out of one gym. Not really going to get into it, but it was more like I feel like sometimes in the amateurs, especially, it's very hard to find sparring, especially being a small guy, and you've got to sort of go to which is going to get you the best sparring, which is going to get you the best training, if that makes sense. And I felt that was the reason why it might have looked like I was constantly moving around to different gyms.
Oh, that's respectful. If you find you've got to find the right place for you, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because obviously, a lot of people saying, do you think your character and style went against you as an amateur in some defeats?
Most definitely, yeah. But I see the amateurs as it's a small apprentice to the pros, but it's an apprentice where you can't exactly do everything that you would do in a pro in the amateurs, because you don't get no press conferences in the amateurs. You don't even get press conferences in the pros until at top level, but you don't even really get interviewed in the amateurs. It's just more they pick up on what you're like by maybe the shorts you're wearing, maybe how you fight different sort of ways. But I wasn't really one of the sort of guys who was how can I word it, like a favourite within the system of the amateur game. When we asked for feedback once on the GB assessment, they said I wasn't a team player. I could see more. I could see why they would think that, but it's just I don't know. I didn't really gel well in the amateurs. Although I've got accomplishments in the amateurs, I believe it wasn't really the sport for me, if that made sense.
Yeah, because a lot of people, there's feedback we're getting from your fans that you were obviously built for the pros, they reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I could see great things happening in the pros, to be honest.
Just touching on, you touched on yourself, being part of the England, the first first Indian boxer in England?
Sorry, did I what?
Sorry, the first Indian boxer in England.
I think I'm the first Indian to fight for GB.
Oh, right, yeah. That must be a brilliant achievement.
Yeah, yeah. If it is definitely correct, then yeah, that's an amazing achievement.
Yeah. Of course, did you have any household names on the GB back then?
The GB. When I actually boxed for England, well for GB, Anthony Fowler was on the same squad, it was the same team lineup that day. He won the Commonwealth Games. Who else? Jimmy Kelly just boxed on the weekend when I was boxing for England in the Three Nations. He was in the same team as well.
Oh, brilliant.
He just boxed for a world title. There was quite a few good guys there. Lerone Richards was in the England camp when I was boxing back in the Three Nations, and he was Billy Joe Saunders' sparring partner for Andy Lee. So obviously he's at top level as well. So there was quite a few big names there.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, what was your highlight of your amateur career, Prince?
Pardon?
What was your highlight? The highlight of your amateur career, mate.
A highlight. I'd probably say winning my first national title. Because at that age, I just wanted to hold a national title. It was like a prestigious thing. I was just glad to win one.
Yeah, like I say, that's had a brilliant amateur career. Obviously, turning pro, a lot of people you've got the buzz about you and heard about it, but you obviously only fought 3 times this year. Is that down to obviously swapping trainers and promoters and stuff like that?
A mixture. I'd say a mixture of both of them. To be honest, I know a lot of people always ask why he only had 3 fights in a year and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, I switched promoters. Then obviously it takes time to negotiate a deal and all that. After we negotiated the deal, I was meant to fight in June, I think it was, but the opponent we was scheduled to have pulled out, and then it was hard to find an opponent who roughly was going to be around the same weight. So obviously, being a flyweight, it's hard to get fights at flyweights anyway. And we managed a month later get a guy who's around the same weight. We won then, and then I then switched coaches to Mervyn Turner at the Shamrock, and it was more we didn't want to go into a match being just training with the guy for just the space of at a show in September, which we could have been on, it wasn't enough time to work with your new coach and assess new game plans.
Yeah, that's a sensible thing to do.
And there was a lot that needed to be changed, if I was honest. I still had a huge amateur style back when I was even in my second pro fight, so there was a lot that we had to change. We had to implicate new sparring partners and stuff, and it was we're just learning a lot in the gym at the moment, and I would like to be more active, but there's I don't know really. It's just when I switched coaches, it was just we needed to find the right coach as well, because before I even went with Mervyn, I was trying other coaches out as well, and then I just preferred Mervyn out of all of them, and then we got matched up October 30th, and then we won again. And I think we're next out either February or March, I think they were telling us.
Oh, that's brilliant to hear. So your debut, Prince, was a bit of a statement, wasn't it? In and out of the ring. Obviously, lasted a minute and a half, but it was a great entertainment, especially the celebration.
I was just, obviously, every boxer has a vision how they want their debut to go. And everyone wants to make a statement, because that's like saying, I was a decent amateur and I've gone into the pros and I want to become the best pro. And I wanted to make a statement to everyone in boxing, not just the flyweight division, that obviously I was a guy who can fight, and just a bit about myself. And maybe in the interview that I did was a lot of stuff was stupid to say, but I'm just a guy who's just trying to make a name for himself in a sport which is hard to make a name for yourself in. And I believe in my debut, I boxed really well, to be honest. Very amateurish, very wild, but it just shows that as a flyweight, I can punch very hard, and I'm very elusive, and it's a good style, I think.
Yeah, it was a brilliant start. Yeah, I think you got a few people talking that night, that debut.
I did say though, when I had, because I know Goodwin does press conferences on most of his shows, and I did say I want to be leaving that arena with everyone talking about me, and I said that everyone will be talking about me at the end of the in the press conference. I worded it like, everyone who comes to the venue will be leaving talking about me, and I think I did that day. Like everyone, yeah.
Oh, because moving on to your second fight. Your second fight with Brett Friday. A lot of people saying that on the night, it looked like you should have won more convincingly than the scorecard said.
I personally thought I personally thought I won every round, to be honest. But when I spoke to Bob Williams, who refereed it, he was saying he wasn't scoring some of my shots at the time because some of them weren't delivered with the correct part of the glove. So I'm not going to really argue with it and say he's wrong to say that, or because at the end of the day he's right to say if you're not throwing with the knuckle part of the glove, you can't really score the shot. So if that was just a learning curve, then because obviously the first parts of your career, they're learning fights. You're not supposed to be there's no point going in fights where you're fighting guys with no wins and 10 losses and they've been stopped 7 times, because you're not going to learn nothing out of that. In my second fight, I fought Brett Fido, who's very durable, never been stopped, and I learned a lot. Like, you have to turn. Obviously, you should know that anyway at that stage in your career that you should be turning your fist. But I learned a lot in that match, and in my third match, you saw huge improvements.
Oh, no, moving into that third fight, you teamed up with Mervyn Tanner. We know him down here as a promoter. Can you tell us about that move and why you picked Merv?
Mervyn's the logic with Mervyn that I thought going with Mervyn was he's a manager and a promoter, and I always thought, well, you always get promoters saying, oh, I'd like this boxer to be doing this and doing that in the ring. So I thought, let me try him out as a coach, because I'd like the thing, like, when promoters say, oh, I'd like him to use his jab more. So I thought, with going Mervyn, if he was to give me some advice, let me see if that sort of works and stuff. And I went into the gym and he was showing me these different tricks and stuff, and I was thinking, oh, this is some smart stuff. And then, it was some real smart stuff he was telling me, and it was the little things as well that he was changing and stuff. And I noticed improvements. When we were sparring Jason Booth for our last fight, and each spar we was doing, not disrespecting Jason Booth, but I felt each spar we was doing, we was starting to there was noticeable improvements, if that made sense. So, like, it might have started off a bit evens, and then it started off going towards me being the leader, if that made sense.
Yeah, cool.
So the work that Merv was telling me to do was definitely paying off.
Saying that in that first fight, yeah, because there's like change of tone on the night. How much do you know about your new opponent?
We were scheduled to fight someone else. That fight never took place, and then we was then told a week beforehand. They asked us to fight a guy called Patrick Bartos, and we was like, no. He's come to the UK. He's been stopped too many times. We're not going to gain nothing out of beating that guy. That would probably be one of them fights. When you punch someone and they hold their leg and go to the floor. So, and we don't need them sort of fights. I believe personally I can go all the way. So the logic in fighting a 4-0 guy was we want to make a statement again. We don't want to be fighting guys who are proven losers, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
we want to be fighting guys who realistically should be pushing us. And I think he was fighting at 8 stone 10, which is, I think, super bantam. So I'm not saying he's a superstar or anything, but coming in as a 4-0 fighter against someone who's giving away pretty much weight in that fight, and the guy being heavier and being undefeated, not many fighters would do that, and I was confident in doing that, and I believe it was a great performance.
Yeah, that was on that night, mate. Your switch hitting, that's a bit hard to keep up with it sometimes.
So I know, yeah. Watching it back, I was thinking, what's going on? And then, I don't know. It's just a natural thing I've always done. I've always naturally been able. As the years have gone on, it's just become more and more natural. Like, before, I used to be like one of them. I'd be orthodox for a round, and then next round I might go southpaw. But as I was getting, I don't know, like, it was more when I hit the seniors and as an amateur, I just suddenly start switching constantly, and just in the pros, there's a lot of switching. Well, especially now under Merv, I'm switching loads now. Merv wants me to hold back on the switch and not be us switching as much, but I don't know, like, it just comes naturally. So I just do it for some reason.
Yeah, like, he can set his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was constantly off balance the whole fight.
Mm.
But, yeah, because on that night, you could tell by people ringside, the smiles on their face, that you were entertaining them because they pay a lot of money for their tickets and telling like the ropes into hammock. People haven't seen that before, and it's good to
Yeah,
see.
I agree with that. To be honest, it's I think in boxing, if you wanna make it in boxing, you gotta give something that's different to what's already been there. And it's like the movies. If you do a similar movie to a movie that's already been done, people have already seen a movie like that. You want to do something different, and I believe that was very different. I believe I'm completely different to what's already been out before. I know I get compared to like different people who have been quite talkative and quite showmanship sort of fighters, but I believe in doing stuff that's different. Like I've never seen that before. Someone using a rope. And yeah, I just think you have to bring something different to the game if you want to become something successful, as well as be able to fight. And I believe I tick both boxes.
Yeah, because even the commentators who night, your old friend Barry Jones seemed to be quite impressed.
Yeah, he was very professional in that, and to be honest, maybe I was a bit stupid to say what I did on the interview with him, but
At least he said his face.
yeah, I know, but I don't know what comes over me sometimes when I'm on camera. I just say a load of rubbish, but yeah, to be honest, Barry, he's won a world title, and I'd love to win a world title. My dream would be to win a world title, and Barry's achieved that, so I can't take nothing away from Barry.
So that's very respectful of you. Let's say moving forward into 2016, there's been a lot said of the interview with Roman Gonzalez. How that came about, and how did you hear that yourself?
Um, Honestly, I was just with one of my friends and just resting, and then I I looked on my phone and like all these tweets were coming through, and I was thinking, what's going on here? Like, what have I done now? I was thinking, and then I think I had a few missed calls as well, and I was trying to like catch up what's going on. It was like Roman Gonzalez has called me out, and I was thinking, wow, man, like I don't need that in my life at the moment. Roman Gonzalez calling me out, and then yeah, I see it. I had a butcher's at the video, and yeah, Roman called me out. Well, he just basically said he was waiting for me, but to be honest, I'm not sure that will happen eventually. Maybe not to that 2016, maybe not even 2017. But if Roman's still a flyweight and I'm still a flyweight, and I'm at that level, and I've earned my way to getting a shot, then definitely I'll take a fight with Roman.
Yeah, because a lot of people said obviously on to the Charlie Edwards fight. A lot been said that you two don't really like each other from the amateur days and things like that. But all your fans really want to get across is that it's been 5 years since you fought in the amateurs, and a lot can change in the pros. And they think this fight can build as big as like the Quig Frampton. Okay?
Yeah, if it can build as big as the Quig Frampton,
I think it
then
can
that'll
over
be
years. Maybe at a different weight.
yeah, it could. It could build as big as the Quig Frampton. So yeah, I don't mind, to be honest. I think he's an eliminator for the British. I think there's two eliminators going on for the British flyweight title, and he's involved in one of them. He's obviously going down one route. I'm playing a bit of catch up at the moment because due to switching coaches, obviously, and not having as many fights at the moment. Got to get some more fights in. I've only done 4 rounders at the moment. My next one's a 6 rounder, and then we'll push to an 8, and then get a 10 in, and then start fighting for some big titles. But I could see that building into something big, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. A lot of fans, me being one of them, would like to see you on the Ryan Walsh undercard in January. Is that too soon for you, Prince?
I'm not on January 22nd. They said the card's too full. But back to what you were saying about Charlie Edwards fight. That's it's a fight that can definitely happen though, because Frank Warren quite clearly has stated he's happy to work with Matchroom, and I think he offered $500,000. I think it was to fight Terry Flanagan. I think he also offered Kevin Mitchell an offer to come and fight one of his fighters. So the two companies do work together. It's just down to whether the time's right and it's ready for us or them to take the fight.
We come across this a lot, like fans wanting their fighters to be more freelance, being on different cards and stuff like that. We'd like to see you down here on a Mervyn Turner show one time.
Yeah, I'd love to be boxing on Merv's cards as well. To be honest, you could very well see me fighting maybe in Norwich one day on a Merv card. But
That'd be great.
yeah, there's big possibilities of that happening. We've actually spoke to the office about that, and they're up for that. Like if I need a quick warm up fight, it could be on a Mervyn Turner show.
Got a show coming up in the halls in March. That'd be good.
Oh yeah, it's good. That'd be a good show, that one in March as well.
Yes, thanks on that. So moving on to 2016, is there anyone you really want to fight? We've mentioned a few names, but there's some good fighters in the flyweight division, isn't there?
I'm literally just want learning fights. I don't want to. I refuse to fight any opponents who, if they're foreign opponents, I don't want to be fighting no foreign opponents who come to the UK. Stopped before and beaten before and all that sort of stuff. I want good learning, testing fights. I don't mind if I fight someone who comes in from abroad who's maybe fought for a European title or something. I don't mind that. I just want to be in good learning fights.
Yeah, we
Because
respect that.
there's no point getting to 10-0 having stopped pretty much everyone but learned absolutely nothing on the journey.
Yeah, 'cause certain fights you take a position, didn't last very long, and you knock them out. You don't learn a lot in them fights, do you?
I'd love to have like a record like Anthony Joshua's where I've just banged out everyone, but I personally believe it's hard to learn doing that.
Yeah, of course, mate, of course. So, a question would come along. Is that video of you, Fusion, walk down the ring to playing the wrong song? Well, there are other boxers this, but most of them would probably wouldn't even walk down that night because that is a touching thing for the boxer, isn't it?
I agree with. I don't know. Maybe I overreacted, but in my mind, when I heard, because that was the same song that Brett Fryder come out to, and I was thinking, oh wow, imagine having to come out to this rubbish, and then it happened to me, and I was thinking, oh no, this ain't happening, and then it happened, and then I overreacted, and yeah, it become like another internet sensation of me acting up again.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of your stuff does go viral. Quite crazy. Obviously, a lot of people they compare you to Prince Nassim, and he was famous for flying into the ringers with carpets and stuff like that. When time come for you, you got anything up your sleeve?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll have to probably ask the office or something, see what Frank says. But I'm open to pretty much anything. So if they come out with anything ridiculous to do, I'll just probably do it.
That's very honest of you, mate. Looking forward to those days. So, another question we come across is, if you weren't a boxer, what would you be, Prince?
I'd like to say something like a model or something, but realistically talking, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably just be going to the weights gyms, try and get big. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's a bit hard question. Would you rather lose your hair or your O?
Oh, no, that's a tricky one. If I'm honest, if you ask me would I rather lose an amateur fight or my hair, I'd say all day the amateur fight. But a pro fight, that's your bread and butter. I'd say the hair's got to go then.
Oh, shocking there, Prince.
I know. No one wants to lose in pro.
Another question here for you, Prince. What stadium arena are you looking forward to fighting in most?
Arena stadiums. I like the sound of Wembley, but I think it's too big to get a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, like, this might sound stupid, but a York Hall when it's packed has a great atmosphere. But I wouldn't say York. I'd say my number one stadium, I'd probably have to say, is like the MEN actually looked like a really good arena to fight in, which I was in yesterday watching the Billy Joe and Lee. But am I allowed to choose UK worldwide or just UK?
Yeah, wherever you want, mate. Wherever in the world.
Worldwide, I'd probably say Madison Square Garden.
That's the pinnacle of your career at Vegas.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of feedback we get of people is that on Facebook and other social media, you give them so much time, and they're really surprised how much time you give to people, even the haters, shall we say. It's really good to hear.
Yeah, I just see myself as a normal person, but I don't think I'm like a superstar who can't speak to people for whatever reason. At the end of the day, I'm just a guy who's just trying to make something of myself. And I think if people are taking their time out to, especially the positive ones, are taking their time out to contact me to show appreciation, then by all means I'm going to reply back. Maybe I shouldn't reply back to all the the negative ones, but I just get carried away when I see negative stuff. I just get drawn into it.
Does that affect you, like, deep down?
Honestly, it just sticks in stone, to be honest. Like, I've always been taught from my mum at a young age, kid can make fun of you, but it just sticks in stone. Like, it's up to you what you want to make of that, what their person said.
Yeah, of course.
It don't matter. You could have the greatest fighter of all time, and people. I'm not saying I'm the greatest fighter of all time. I hope to one day become that, but even like a Floyd Mayweather, for example, the amount of negative stuff he gets, and let's face it, he's 49-0, incredible athlete, incredible boxer, and he still gets negative stuff. So me at 3-0, I'm bound to get negative tweets and negative comments.
Exactly. Another question we come across is, I don't know if friend of yours, Terry, is your friend Terry Fitzgerald, is it?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah, cousin of mine. Actually. Yeah.
A lot of feedback about Terry and how you two should have a show together on Nation or something.
Oh, well, definitely. If Frank Warren's listening now, I'd love to have a show with him on Box Nation. I think he'd be up for that as well. So yeah, it would be a good show, that.
Because on social media, anyone can come with a good answer if you give him the time, but Terry gets back with his quick-witted stuff really quick.
I know. Yeah, I think he's more charismatic than I am. He's sharp, isn't he? Yeah, he's good.
So yeah.
Good, Mike. Yeah.
And another question coming. I don't really know a lot about it. You get a lot of negative comments from bald people.
Oh, yeah. Funny enough, you say that, but I was thinking about that the other day. A lot of bald men do hate me. I don't know. I don't blame them, to be honest.
Just one of them things, must be, mate. Like I say, it's been great. Yeah, because I was shocked that you agreed to come on the show, but as soon as you heard it was for the fans, you were straight on board, and that was great to hear, mate.
It's all about giving back to the people, and that. I just think it's a sport where you have to entertain people as well as win matches. But without the fans, the sport wouldn't exist. Without the fans of boxing and the fan of sports, the show yesterday wouldn't have been packed out.
You touched on it then. You've been at a few shows in there. Are you a fan of the sport then, or any sports?
I'm a fan of sport. Honestly, my favourite sport in the world is pro wrestling.
Really?
I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. My second favourite sport probably is boxing. I enjoy doing boxing. I enjoy going to the shows and that, so I see it as like a night out, but not like a huge 24/7 boxing on all the time. I might have Box Nation on in the background when I'm at home, but I'm not a huge boxing fan, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. Just one more question we come across is it true that you pulled your strings on getting a Freeview Nation channel?
I pulled my string. Yeah, a lot of people actually have told me about is Box Nation on Freeview and stuff, and I always tell them, sorry, it's not, blah blah. Like, 'cause you have to have a certain platform to have it on.
Yeah.
And I then had a word with the office and told them that a lot of my friends are telling me that they want to watch Box Nation, but it's not available on the TV they've got, basically. And a couple months later, it's out on Freeview.
Yeah. Say no more, mate.
Yeah, it's just there. So obviously the office listen to what we say.
Brilliant. So it's been great. Absolute laugh talking to you, mate. You've been very honest with us and showed a different side of yourself. Yeah, it's been brilliant talking to you, mate.
Thanks for having me, and I want to say Merry Christmas to all the Princeaholics. Keep supporting and keep following the journey to the top.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Cheers, mate. Thanks for getting up yourself.
Thanks for having me. Take care, mate.
And you, mate. All the best.
Take care, mate.